You're watching Public Access Television, PATV.
It's Roll On Iowa with your host, John Robert Anton Bacon, and Alan Stroh Jr.
Good evening or good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Roll On Iowa. I'm your host, Al Stroh Jr., and to my left, my good friend, Mr. John Bacon. Want to welcome you all back. We had a couple weeks off. First of all, we took a week off for the Thanksgiving holiday.
It's a great American holiday.
Great American holiday. It's one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite holiday, actually. I was thinking about this earlier in the month. I was thinking that. This is probably my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
And then, of course, so that was one week, and then, of course, the next week, we had the blizzard here in Iowa. You know, for those of you that are watching Roll On Iowa overseas via the World Wide Web, you know, in other countries around the world, we had a huge blizzard here last week, and the station shut down when we were going to film it. We were ready to go. I got the call, you know, but so we've been gone for a couple weeks. But you know, I'm so happy to be back, John. I'm very excited. You know, and the one thing I'd like to say is that I've been just I go all over town, you know. The guy at the 7-Eleven, or the Suburbico, he's a fan. My neighbor, Eleanor, she stopped me when I was shoveling the walk or whatever, and she was like, hey, I saw your show. She like your show. And people on the internet around the country, you know, people like Joe, and other guys that were watching the show out there, liking the show, and the responses I've gotten about the show are just overwhelmingly positive. Well, how about you? How about for you, John?
Well,
what's been your
we
experience?
appreciate, you know, everyone that takes the time to tune in and watch our show, and we hope that you know, that anyone out there watching, you know, learns a little something. Maybe about the Hawkeyes, our favorite team.
Our favorite team.
And, you know, we want to help spread enthusiasm for our athletic programs.
Absolutely.
Because as we know, nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm.
That's right. Enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is contagious.
Enthusiasm is contagious. That's right.
Enthusiasm is contagious. You know, it is a different kind of show. This isn't one of these press shows where we're going to sit here and try to score points about how smart we are, or how, like, you know, sly we can be, or whatever, about predictions or whatever. That this is just a show about, you know, a positive show about the Hawks, you know, and it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. I don't think.
Absolutely right.
So
absolutely right.
Anyway, there's been a lot of big news since we were gone. We have a lot we could talk about tonight, John. We have, of course, the bowl game. You know, we got into the Orange Bowl. Didn't get the bowl maybe a lot of people were expecting to get. Then, of course, we have basketball coach, fell ill.
Yes.
That's a big story. I went to that game, and I mean, not the game where he didn't collapse or anything, but, you know, he wasn't there. And so I said, I remember I sent you a text.
You
where
spotted
is
that
he?
immediately. Where is Coach? Yeah.
Gone, and so there's that, and there's a bunch of stuff. We also have the two kids. We got AJ Derby is going to be coming in early. And there's also that Solon kid that I saw in the paper yesterday. He's going to be a linebacker for us. So both of those kids, I think that's an exciting topic because you're talking about kids right from here in Eastern Iowa that are going to be contributing to the Hawkeye squad.
The Hawkeyes are
John
putting together.
Bacon. Let's hear your thoughts about this bowl.
Well, okay.
Okay, start where you want. First of all, let's start with.
Well,
let's start with their placement. Oh no, actually, you're right. You had some big news. You got some big news. John Bacon here, my friend John Robert Anton, is a published
Al told me I could take a minute and
author.
put a plug in.
Of course, you can take a minute. You can take the whole half hour if you want.
If there's anyone out there watching, I want to make you aware. I've written a book. The book was illustrated by Mark Jones, written by me. It's a short children's novel geared towards an upper elementary school audience. And hopefully it's a fun story that people will enjoy reading. A lot of humor, I think, in the book, and also a lesson for kids if you have children. The lesson in here about friendship, about working through some bullying. So I hope kids that read the book...
I deal with those issues right now. Heck yeah.
Yeah, they affect everybody. So my hope is that this could provide some strategies for people that may be going through some tough friendship issues.
In my personal life this week, I dealt with a bully. He wasn't bullying me, of course, but he was bullying someone who was a friend of mine.
But it will also, I think, hopefully be a fun little story, kind of based on some real-life things I went through, but certainly embellished for the purposes of a story. If you're interested in ordering the book, you can purchase it at Iowa Book and Supply, one of a downtown across from the old Capitol.
Right. Downtown across from the old Capitol.
Iowa Book, one-of-a-kind bookstore.
One-of-a-kind bookstore.
You can also order this online if you go to the Iowa City Community School District Foundation's website. They published this book for me and can be purchased online.
So, John, I've known you my whole life.
Yes.
And you're saying this is autobiographical, okay? Yeah. So my question is, am I in this book? Is there a character am I in this book at all?
Well,
did I even get in? Did I make any kind of...
No.
No.
Listen,
well, I was nice to you. It's about kids that were mean to you, right?
That's exactly right. And I'm going to tell you one thing
about
Al
nice
Stroh Jr. is always stuck by my side, no matter what.
I did.
I mean, Al was always there. He wasn't going to participate in any of this type of
nonsense. It used to make me sick. Yeah, I remember. I started. I mean, we don't need to get into it, but I do remember some of the incidents you're probably alluding to in the book, and the more periods of time. And yeah, it used to anger me how you sometimes got treated, and it's not fair.
Ah, well,
But hey, you're right. We grow.
What are you gonna do?
It's a formative experience.
Right.
We made it through.
Yeah. So, Mick, you asked me about the bowl game.
Yeah, the bowl game. Okay, now first of all, what do you think about the bowl? The fact that we got in the Oldest Bowl period?
Well, there's three things that I think. BCS. BCS.
Right.
There are 10 teams in the country that can say that they were selected to a BCS bowl game. Do you know how many programs would love to trade places with us? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I'm delighted.
You're right.
I'm elated.
You're right.
Now, as a college football fan, I probably would have liked to see a team like TCU and Boise State be matched up against a team from a big conference, because I think what people want to know is, can they hang with the big teams?
Well, the point is this, though. This is what makes it funny about. This is what's funny to me. There's going to be a certain national voice that's going to argue that these guys are just as good. These guys are just as good as the big conference boys. Well, if that's true and you believe your hype, then you should be just fine seeing them play each other. Because if they're just these two powerhouses, that should be this awesome game.
We still won't know. What we want to know is, can
it's
they
guaranteed.
We still won't.
It's a dumb move, and I tell you this: they're not going to sell out their stadium the way they would if the Hawks are playing. And, that bowl is going to tank on television.
I'll tell you this, though. I'll be watching. I'll be watching all the
I'll watch it, too.
I'll tell you this.
I would go for Boise State in that game to get off the Hawks. But that's who I think is going to win.
Got a caller.
We got a caller. That's right. So we have a caller. Tim is on the line, I found out. And so we have our section every week where we talk to Timmy, and it's called Tim Weighs In.
Tim, if you could have just seen what flashed across the screen.
How's it going, Tim?
Oh, good. How are you guys?
You have
We're
your
doing
own.
good, buddy.
You have your very own intro. Tell.
Well, actually,